Happy New Year, everybody, and what better way to ring it in than with a boatload of awesome new games on Xbox Game Pass. Whether you want to kick off 2022 by battling aliens, solving puzzles, or fighting fires, Game Pass has got you covered. Before we kick off with the rest of the update though, we have the breaking news that on the 20th of January, the brand new 3-player co-op tactical shooter Rainbow Six Extraction will be coming to Game Pass as yet another day one release to console, PC, and cloud. Not only that, Rainbow Six Siege will also be available from the same date, and Ubisoft have announced their intent to bring their service, Ubisoft Plus, to Xbox platforms in the future too. And you thought the holidays were over. But here are yet more games coming to Xbox Game Pass soon.
If you were lucky enough to pick up an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate membership over the holidays, then you'll also have access to all the amazing titles sitting in the EA Play library. And as of January 6th, that includes Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Anyone who played the Mass Effect trilogy the first time around might wonder how you could possibly improve on such an incredible action RPG experience. Although, if they were wondering that, it might be because they haven't seen what the Xbox Series X and S can do. With stunning 4K resolutions and up to 120 FPS exclusively on the Series X, every corner of the game's vast galaxy now looks absolutely incredible. And beneath that beautiful exterior, you'll find everything that made the games great in the first place. Gorgeous, gut-wrenching storytelling, tons of fascinating, futuristic places to explore, and more exhilarating shootouts than you could shake a plasma rifle at. The original Mass Effect games were great, but the Legendary Edition is out of this world.
And that's not the only game that will be taking you to the stars this month, with Outer Wilds touching down on the very same day. Here, you won't find any explosive action set pieces to blast through or complex romantic relationships to untangle. Instead, you'll be quietly exploring a solar system in your little spacecraft, trying to make it safely from one rock to another while digging up more information about the civilization that once lived there. It's all very gentle, very tranquil, very serene. Right up until the sun explodes and engulfs you in a bone-melting supernova. Them's the breaks, I guess. Fortunately, the Outer Wilds takes place in a 22-minute time loop, where each fireball sends you back to the start to set out once more, using what you've learned to try and make it a little further each time around. Non-linear, unconventional, occasionally confusing, and basically just a bit weird. Outer Wilds is one of the most unique games on Xbox and worth checking out on that alone.
To bring things back down to earth, let's take a look at the Pedestrian. Playing as a little doodle person that someone left up on a whiteboard, the only way you can move through the world is by creating 2D paths out of the signs and surfaces that populate it. And that's often going to mean getting creative. You can swivel signs around, wire electrical sockets together, and even hop inside computer screens to open up new avenues for your two-dimensional hero to explore. It all feels like a concept Pixar might have made a movie out of, and it's blessed with the same playful spirit, ingenious design, and gentle jazz score too, making it an absolute delight to play. Plus, it's only a few hours long, so if you're looking for something charming and offbeat to while an evening away, take a wander over to the Pedestrian.
If you're looking for some more side-scrolling fun, Spelunky II also arrives on January 13th and might just be the game for you. This 2D platformer has you playing a young explorer named Anna, who's heading off to the moon in search of her missing parents. Moving through each of its cavernous levels, you'll find all manner of enemies, traps, and environmental hazards to keep you on your toes. In particular, look out for the liquid physics that have been added this time around. Lots of bad things are said to flow downhill, and it turns out molten lava is one of them. Since each level is procedurally generated, you never quite know what you're going to face next time around, filling Spelunky 2 with a true sense of innovation and adventure.
Goro is a puzzle game that's all about how you look at the world. Each chapter of its sprawling story is told through a series of hand-drawn panels, all beautifully illustrated by artist Jason Roberts. By rearranging the panels, you can merge them into new pictures and change the story, creating doors for a character to walk through, reshaping a tree branch so that its fruit will fall into a helpfully placed bowl, and even grabbing the flame from an ancient star to light a little boy's lantern. It's all a bit trippy, but once you begin to see the whole picture, it adds up to a sweet, gorgeous, and thoughtful meditation on spirituality, history, and life in general. Goro hit Xbox Game Pass on January 4th. and it's well worth checking out for anyone looking to take a more expansive view of what video games can be in 2022.
Do you know what? I reckon more games should let us harpoon things. It's a truly sophisticated piece of weaponry, more versatile than a spear, more deadly than a grappling hook, and just ostentatious enough to make you stand out from the crowd. Plus, it's just really fun to say. Harpoon. Harpoon. See? Where was I going with this? Oh yeah. In Olya, you play as a man named Faraday, who is an absolute artiste with a spear gun, which is good news since he's now shipwrecked in some rather troublesome waters. Specifically, he's landed upon the island of Terraphage, where the demonic Clan Rottenwood roam the land. And if ever there was someone in need of a good harpooning, it's the Rottenwoods. With its charming pixel art visuals and broody, atmospheric score, Olya makes for a dark and captivating 2D adventure with a ton of old school flair, and it's now available on Xbox Game Pass. Handy.
We've got a bunch more awesome titles arriving day one onto Xbox Game Pass this year, and members can check one of them out before anyone else with a preview of the Anacrusis arriving on January 13th, ahead of its full launch later this year. In this vision of the future, humanity has wandered way out into the stars, only to find that the whole place is one big Buzz Lightyear gif. No sign of intelligent life anywhere. That is, until an alien horde suddenly attacks one of their ships, leaving those inside with no choice but to take up arms against those fearsome ETs. The Anacrusis is a 4-player co-op shooter, which gives you all sorts of funky firepower to fight with. From shield grenades that help you fling some instant cover to your neatest and deedest, to respawners to bring them back if your grenade doesn't make it in time. The whole thing is one big intergalactic rumble, and we can't wait to be a part of it.
Finally, this week also saw the addition of Ember to the Xbox Game Pass library, and this game is pure fire. Anyone who has enjoyed the chaotic fun of titles like Overcooked will know the nervous thrill of seeing the whole place start to go up in flames as your communication breaks down and everyone begins to panic. Well, what if that was the entire game? In Ember, you and your fellow firefighters are sent into one burning building after another to battle back the flames, rescue whoever's inside, and make it out again while you're all still closer to rare than well done. All of which is a lot more difficult than it sounds, since your character moves with the grace and dexterity of an intoxicated weeble, with 4 of you haphazardly crashing through doors, knocking over ladders, and plummeting down staircases. Each game is guaranteed to be full of slapstick hilarity.
If your New Year's resolution was to play more great video games, then an Xbox Game Pass subscription is definitely the way to go. Between the massive day one releases on the way and the constant additions to its already ginormous catalogue, you'll have something excellent to play all year round. To keep track of everything that's coming down the pipeline, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell, and don't forget to leave a like on your way out. Bye!